If you're a basketball fan, you most certainly remember one of the most epic shots to ever be hit in college basketball by Kemba Walker in the Big East Championship. But the reason this play happened is because of that ball screen right there. And because he understands ball screen coverages so well, he knew that he had this shot the moment that they switched. Kemba just announced his retirement after finishing his basketball career overseas in Euroleague, and we're going to take some of his clips in his last season and use some of the things that he does so well to make you better in ball screens. And just like with the game winner in the Big East Championship, we're going to start by talking about switching. As soon as you come off a ball screen and you recognize the switch, there's two main things you want to do. Knowing that that big doesn't want to get beat because he's a bit slower, you can use that advantage to get separation and knock down the three. But you don't always want to have to settle for the three, so you can use that speed advantage to blow by him and get to the rim. Those are the two things you need to do when you get a switch. Now, a lot of teams will run what's called drop coverage or low showing. That's when the guard is going to go over the top of the screen and the big is going to drop and try and keep the ball in front. And when teams do that, you need to be able to hit this three-pointer off the bounce that I like to refer to as loading the gun. Now, this is one of the more difficult shots in basketball, but it will free you up a ton. Notice that the ball screen is being set and this big is low showing, so Kemba comes off one bounce and knocks it down for three. This is a shot that you have to practice, but if you can make it, it's going to free you up for a lot more options. Another coverage that you'll see is either what's called hedging or quick showing. Now, as this big shows or hedges, instead of Kemba continuing to go left, he's actually going to reject back to his right, and then his defender who's trying to get underneath this screen is going to over pursue him, and he ends up getting right downhill for a layup. And this is something Kemba's been known for his entire career. As this big tries to hedge the screen, watch how Kemba snakes back to his right and splits right in between the two. Most of you have heard people talk about change of direction, change of speed. That's exactly what Kemba does when he gets this show on a ball screen coverage. And he's been in so many ball screens that he knows what defenders want to do. Notice how his on-ball defender starts looking to the right to prepare for this screen, and when Kemba notices that, he uses it against his defender and rejects it and gets downhill. But the other thing you need to learn how to do is know when to pass the ball. When Kemba comes off the screen, instead of doing something crazy, he gets two people to the ball, which means his big is open, and he throws this pass that's known as a short roll, and it leads to an easy layup. So you have to be able to do both. You need to know how to score, and you need to know when to get off the basketball. As he comes off of this screen, he gets two to the ball, he knows his big is rolling, and he actually gets his eyes to this man right here that's known as a tag defender, and because he's late rotating, that's what allows him to throw this ball into the big. So when you can put all of these pieces together, it becomes very difficult to stop you in ball screens. When he comes off and gets two to the ball, the roll man is open, but because of this tag man right here, he recognizes it and shoots this mid-range jump shot because the big is in drop coverage. Now, there are plenty of other options that are available, but this is a great foundation against some of the basic coverages that you're going to see. And if there are other concepts that you want me to cover, make sure you mention them in the comments and I'll do my best to get to them. Thanks for coming through. We'll see you next time in the film room.